We're going to get this meeting over. This time, let's stand for a moment for prayer. Our kind and gracious Heavenly Father, you have blessed us, Lord, with another day. Be with us as we go through the meeting tonight. Be with our nation, state, and our county government as we go through and hopefully and pray for what's going to come out at the end of all these turmoils that are going around. Be with us, direct us, guide our hand and our mind to do what's best for the county. In your heavenly sweet name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And then while we're standing, Miss Becky Denny, will you do the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May be seated. All right. That brings us down to item number 4 under amendments to the agenda. We have one amendment to the agenda, item A, to add item E under action items. It's a resolution in regard to the Veterans Memorial. If y'all don't have a problem with that, I'd like to have an approval of the agenda, please.
Second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being all in favor, let know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. And that brings us down to item number 6, employee recognition. This is an item that Ms. Denny has been taking care of the last few years, and I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Denny at this time.
Well, we have a couple of good ones, but I don't think they're here. We have Joey Hancock, 10 years with the Sheriff's Office, and David Pickens, 10 years. And Sandy, would you accept these for the police?
Let's take that from good old West End.
Joey is probably waterlogged, he's been working outside. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate you doing that for us. That brings us down to item number 7 on the consent agenda. Ms. Lisa, do we have anything under the consent agenda?
No,
What about the resolution for Optimist Club?
that'll be next month.
Next month, I'm sorry. All right. Then that brings us down to nothing in the consent agenda. That brings us down to item number 8 under old business. Do we have anything under old business?
There's none.
Nothing under old business. All right. That brings us down to item number 9, new business. Family Connection has requested that we also do the fiscal agent designation acceptance agreement. We have done that for a few years to be the fiscal agent, and of course Ms. Harvey has been handling that. Ms. Harvey, you got any questions or statements or anything about this?
No, not at all. Either, for this Family Connections grant, either the Board of Commissioners or the Board of Education has to be
Fiscal agent.
the fiscal agent for the grant. And I think we have done it maybe for the past 4 or 5 years. There's very little work to it, and they reimburse fully all the expenses quarterly, so it's a good program, and Jackie and I work really well together.
All right.
So it's fun.
Any further questions from Ms. Harvey on that? All right. What's y'all's pleasure to that point?
Second.
Have a move and second to be the fiscal agent again and give me the authority to sign it. I guess that's what that's for. All right, and give me the authority to sign it. Have a move, second, any further discussion? None being all in favor, of saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. And so I'm assuming all right. That brings us down to item number 10 under finance report. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Ms. Harvey for the county's financials.
Okay, thank you. The financials that we're looking at tonight is the entire 2018 budget, which was finalized December 31st. For, on the revenue side, the total revenues through December 31st for the year is $25,648,382, and that's 97.92% of the budgeted amount. On the expenditures for the general government functions, the expenditures total $3,410,759, and that's 88.01%. For judicial, the total expenditures are $3,008,420, and that's 87.47%. For public safety, the total expenditures for the year are $12,908,795, and that's 96.22%. And then we go to the public works functions, and the total expenditures there are $2,766,502, and that's 91.7%. For the health department, the senior center and the MATS program, $679,513, and that's 84.06%. For culture and recreation, the expenditures are $927,003, and that's 94.7%. For housing and development, the expenditures are $586,889, and that's 89.07%. Overall, the total general fund expenditures for the year are $24,287,881, and that's 92.72% of the total budget. For the enterprise funds, the water department expenditures are $2,184,714, and that's 101%, almost 102%. So it's a little bit over, but the revenue was over. The revenue totally covered his expenditures and had some excess revenue. For the enterprise fund, the airport, the expenditures are $357,238, and that's 81.11%. So on the general fund expenditures, there it's currently about 7% under budget, but there will be expenditures that are paid in January and February of 2019 that will be accrued back. The first one entire payroll will be accrued back. So there will be adjustments to that, to the expenditure side and also the revenue side. And I will update those reports after we're completed, if we've completed all the approvals. The line item budget reports were sent to all the department heads and elected officials on January 14th, and I have copies of all those line item reports if you all want to see those. Any questions?
Do you expect that to equal out at the end of the year with more income and more expenses?
Yes, I do. There's no reimbursement for this back.
Ms. Harvey, can you give them, have you got a date when the auditor's gonna show up?
Yes, I talked to the auditors this week, and they will be here for the elected officials' offices to do their field work there the last full week in February. And then they will be here for field work, for our field work and testing the last week in March.
Okay.
And with that schedule, she said she could probably have me at a draft of the audit by mid-May, and it has to be filed by June 30th.
Any further questions from Ms. Harvey? Ms. Harvey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. Now that brings us down to action items. The approved minutes. We had a board meeting on December 30th, 2018. Did y'all have any questions or any changes or additions we need to that? If not, I need to move a second to approve.
What date?
That was December 20th, 2018.
Okay. No problem.
All right. Got a move?
Second.
Got a second? Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, I know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you. All right. Then, of course, we had a work session on January 3rd of 2019. We all have kind of breezed over that. I didn't see anything. We had any additions or omissions that need to be corrected on that? If we don't see any, we need to move a second to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Have moved and second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you. All right. Then we go down to item B. We've had a rezone request rezone in order of RZ 11-18-1258, which I'm just going to have to give you an update on both of these. The Low family and the Edmonds family, number 1 and number 2, are swapping parcels, exactly the same acreage. I think the planning commission voted on both of them, 5 yes and 0 no to approve. The only stipulation is Mr. Lau's was agriculture and it needs to be changed to rural residential. And Mr. Edmonds was rural residential and needs to be agriculture. And it's just kind of a change. It's a swap. They border one another, and just a swap. So that's what it is. And I'll go ahead and run these as a first and as a number 1 and number 2. The number 1 is the RZ 11-18-1258, the NC Low and Family LLC, the Ellijay Road, agriculture, AG to rural residential, 1.26 acres. It was voted 5 yes to 0 no to approve that particular parcel. What is y'all's pleasure?
So,
Moving, I'll have a second. Any further discussion? None being, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed, thank you. All right, then on rezone RZ 11-18-1259, Mr. Edmonds, if he's going from rural residential, which are back to agriculture on his particular property, he's got 1.26 acres also. They voted 5 yes, 0 no to approve. What is y'all's pleasure?
Make a motion to accept.
All right. Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all that favor of saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. All right. That brings us down to item C. We have a reappointment of the following individuals to the Pickens County Water and Sewer Authority for 2 years. We have a reappointment for the following individuals to the Pickens County Water and Sewer Authority for a 2-year term. It's Mr. John Tatum, Mr. Philip O'Brien, and Mr. Jack Brown that are serving in those positions now, and they have agreed to stay on if y'all are willing to do that. What is y'all's pleasure?
Move to accept them
second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all that in favor, let them by saying aye.
again. Aye.
None opposed, thank you. All right. All right. We have item number D, a reappointment for Lee Thrasher to the Pickens County Planning Commission for a 4-year term. He has agreed to serve in that position again. What's y'all's pleasure to that one?
Make a move to accept.
Second.
Have a move and a second to accept Mr. Lee Thrasher again for the 4 years. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. All right, that brings us down to the resolution for the Veterans Memorial. Phil, you want me to read all this, or you want to give us a Reader's Digest version?
I believe both the city council and the board of commissioners have committed to the veterans organization to use that area where the memorial currently is, west of the parking lot, for the same purpose. And so what this is doing is a resolution, not deeding the property to them, but it is a resolution that says, from the city and from the county, that said that property where the memorial currently sits, together with the unimproved property south of that, from Stegall Drive to Highway 53, and then west of that edge of the asphalt parking lot to the edge of the property, would be used just for honoring the veterans of Pickens County. It doesn't necessarily reference, it can only be used by that nonprofit corporation that actually built that memorial. Because 20 years from now, that may not be in existence.
I want to read it to the fact that whereas Pickens County is a Veteran Memorial Park Incorporated, a Georgia nonprofit corporation, was erected a beautiful and stately memorial on a portion of said property for the purpose of honoring the veterans of Pickens County. And whereas both the city of Jasper and Pickens County would like to further the development of said memorial and provide for the possible expansion of the same, and therefore be resolved, as resolved, that portion of the above described property that lies south of Stegall Drive and west of the current location of the existing pavement of the parking lot shall be reserved for the purposes of honoring veterans of Pickens County.
That property is owned jointly by the city and the county. The vesting deed vests both entities. And so the plan would be for y'all choose to pass this. I'll give it to Lisa will give it to the city, and then they'll have it on their agenda at their next meeting. And then that if either entity decides that that's not the best use for the property, they need to go to the other entity, and they need to have a public meeting that actually rescinds that resolution.
What's y'all's pleasure? Go ahead and accept the resolution and giving me the authority to sign it.
Second.
All right, have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all that favor, number saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. All right, now that brings us down to guests and comments. Do we have any comments from the guests or questions? Whatever. It's quiet. Is it still raining or snowing yet? All right, that's going to take us into executive session, and Phil, the county attorney, has asked that we go into executive session. I'm going to ask for moving to second to go into executive session. Number one, to discuss or vote to authorize negotiations to purchase, dispose of, or lease property, authorize ordering and appraisal related to the acquisition or disposal of real estate, enter into a contract to purchase, dispose of, or lease property subject to approval in a subsequent public vote, or enter into an option to purchase, dispose of or lease real estate subject to an approval in a subsequent public vote, OCGA 5014-3B1. And item number two, to consult and meet with legal counsel pertaining to pending or potential litigation, settlement claims, administrative proceedings, or other judicial actions brought or to be brought by or against the county or an officer or employee, or in which the officer or employee may be directly involved by OCGA 5014-2-1. I need a move and a second to go into executive session for this part.
Second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, number saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Quick question. There'll be no vote. Am I correct? Huh?
There's no representation to the public or to the media as to any action, if any, that will be taken.
All right. Y'all's notification, y'all are welcome to stay. Don't know how long it's going to be. Haven't got a clue. So if y'all want to wait, please do so. If not, y'all have a great weekend and enjoy. We'll be back sometime. Thank you.